G'day viewers, well, got this ReGas for repair. I just had the error light flashing once every 4 seconds or so. So voltage related issue. Checked all connections. The switch is just a bit dicky. The low, medium, high switch just doesn't work on high. The switch on the high contacts there are a bit stuffed. So that's all that was wrong with it. It's working fine now. Also got this into repair. It's an supposed to be a decommissioned Austrail fridge. These aren't cheap, these fridges, for what they are. It's the second one I've fixed in the last 3 months. The first one had the same issue, but the vapor compression part was untouched, but they smashed the screen in with an axe. They've taken an axe to it there, and on the back, and this same person's siliconed up the holes. The decommissioned it, didn't break the screen, but they hit the side of it and just nicked the trying to decommission it on purpose for scrap. So I've taken that off, flush off the compressor and soldered that on, painted it. It was a very slow leak. It did work, but it was low on refrigerant. As soon as I took the side off, behind all the obstacles, I just found that and I just twisted it off with a pair of pliers, added a new valve, fixed that. Got pretty bloody hot to solder that bit. Whatever tiny bit of moisture would have been in the system now is gone. But I'm going to double the get the compressor vacuum pump on it. Something worth putting the whole complete new filter dryer on it. It'll be alright. I don't think any moisture had been in the system anyway, because it was a very, very small crack in the line, like very small compromise. Would have been under a bit, it was a bit low, but I don't think much would have got in through there anyway, because it was actually more oil seeping out than anything, so that'll be alright. This guy will fit in nice and hot, so I'm going to put the vacuum pump on it and put my valve assembly back in. I'll always remember to take these out. And I'll get the vacuum pump on it for a bit and we'll get it ready for a recharge. I'm going to put 152a in it. A little bit of 152a. Nice and tight. Okay. This is going to freeze. This is working fine. So let's get this all set up. Get my vacuum pump on it and get a nice good long hard sucker vacuum in there. Worked it quite well. I just stand it up right vertically so this is at the top and let the solder wick in there. It wasn't easy because you got to get all this bloody shell hot. You can see I destroyed the sticker bit out. It'd be alright. Challenging, but I got it. It's not going to leak. Now I got the vacuum pump on it. After bit of a flick. I always have a habit of flicking these cheap gauges because I've been very wary of cheap gauges. They always tend to stick, so I've got a habit of flicking them to get the needle to stabilise. I've noticed it a couple of times with this gauge. It doesn't quite, when you flick it and it just moves. Yeah, they're not very mechanically precise. They'll be accurate, but not mechanically precise. That's why I've always been wary of them. Let that suck for a while. Yep, yeah, as I said, the one I had before, I fixed for the same bloke who owns this one. It was the same fridge, the same fate. Got it going, minus the screen. He lives off the grid, so he needs all these car fridges he can get. I will get more of these because these must have some sort of issue with them, a warranty, whatever it is, but someone's obviously decommissioning them and fixing them up, and there's some sort of connection going on here. Exact same model, fridge and brand as the previous one, the exact same fate. But this one's worse, the wear on the refrigeration side. So just nick this off with an axe and that's it. At least I didn't damage this. I've looked everywhere online, you cannot get those. So it's a bit unfortunate, but for a Chinese fridge with an LG Chinese made compressor, they really aren't too bad I suppose, but I've seen crappier ones out there. 42 locomotive amps, 12-24 volt. They're missing the fuse holder, that's been taken out. The fuse was missing, I checked before I put the fuse in and nothing wrong with the electronic side of it. Some people just have too much money and they buy these and then they take it back or whatever's wrong with it. Some people have got money to burn. it's still hot. I want to get as much vacuum on this while it's still hot as possible. That way every little ounce of refrigerant R152a is taken out, and if any moisture what I got in there, it comes out. If you watch David A1 Highway net, he does the same thing with electric fridges. You cook the compressor with a heater overnight or something while vacuuming, and that's the best hope of getting any sort of moisture out of the system possible. But in the professional world, in the real world, you always replace this regardless. But I haven't had an issue with liquid blockages at all. Something like this, I'll replace it, yeah, definitely. But for a cartridge, it's not going to be an issue. It would have been the only bloke that's run it anyway, because it was all, it wasn't run since. I've put that in there and I've checked it, I've run it. So I know what it's been through since this has been ready. Well, since I got it anyway, so. Yeah, it does kind of stick, these bloody needles. Anyway, we'll get the refrigerant out, let that pump down hard, so not oinking like a pig, so she's under full vacuum. They're all purged, ready to go. Got me a 152a canister. We'll add some vapour in and I'll move the cord and plug this in a minute. Charging. Turn it off. I reach equilibrium between the pressure in here and the tank. This won't take much anyway, so better be careful how much I put in. It will take bugger all. Shut it off, and I'll get my little power on there, and we'll power it up. And just started. Higher speed, battery protection's on max. Right, we'll get my tools off the top of this thing. Pressure's going down, see? Should be very precise with these little cartridges. They don't take much. I've done it heaps of times and I put too much pressure in one. Heaps of times, so. There's a magnetic reed switch to the light, which all works in here. This same cheap patented liner is used in cheap Chinese chest freezers you can buy at stores. You can just go pop, put your finger through them. Unbelievable. There's no lens on that light, so I have to put some protection on that to seal it with clear lacquer. Oh, that's just cold from ambient there. Oh, hang on a minute, you know what I didn't do? Yeah, compressor's going. It is going. A little bit of heat rejection, I'll probably put too much in it now. I bet I did. Yeah, I reckon I did, you know. Compressor's going. Yeah, I might have put too much in it, that should have dropped. I probably put too much in it. Okay, maybe I put too much in it. Okay, viewers probably won't see much here, but I'm charging it slowly, bit by bit, just incrementally, in little increments. Probably won't see much out of this, so I just set the camera down. Now I get bloody criticised for friggin' shit camera work, but anyway. I'm just lazy to use my bloody tripod. I'm going to kick myself in the arse for that. So it's more. One of a vacuum. Now I do it from the valve in the tank. Just monitor the pressures and go slow. Yeah, we're injecting heat there. Slowly, slowly. It's only a small system, so it's not going to be as quick as charging a big house fridge. Put the listen in right here. Yeah, we're starting to hear boiling in the evaporator. Starting to get some boiling going on. We're getting there. How much did I put in originally? I've got to find a sticker. The label on the back I can't get to, it's obstructed. I think it was about like 50 grams, if that, of R152a originally. And that, stop. Okay, pressures. Rejecting some heat, yep, it's going to get cold. We're rejecting heat, we're going to get cold. A bit of heat rejection there, which is good. There we go, we're under a vacuum again, so keep adding a little bit. Compressor setting is all on max. I've got the settings on the controller maxed out, so it's going as fast as it can, the compressor. Bit more. Just keep going like that until I get it right. Starting to hear it go shh, the usual sound you hear. A bit more on there, I think. It's definitely not leaking as a pack with bubbling. I know it's not leaking because I checked that before I painted it. Compressor sound changes a bit when I put more load on it. So we've got a copper, look at this steel in here. There. Yeah, it's all nice and toasty in there. Not quite under a vacuum, so when I tap it, see it sticks, these bloody gauges. Wait a bit. Ambient temperature, battery's getting low, that's on my off-grid setup anyway, 12 volts. On a dot. Got to clean the panels, I think. Don't get as much sun. It's been cold last couple of days. Yep, we're hissing. Got to keep going, I think. Keep going slowly, but it's start getting some cold. And when it's fully cold or frosted, you should not have vacuum at all. Alright, we just follow that process until I get the charge right. That's basically how I do it without charging by weight. Anyway, okay viewers, I should have realised this, but put a good power supply on your things like this, especially with car features. You want to keep the power going to them constant. Because even though it was at 12 volts, as soon as it dropped to 12.0, this thing had an F1 error. So anywhere below 12.1 volts, this thing shuts off. So I'm running it off my power supply here. Pretty good on power actually. Good 48.6 volts, mimicking a brand new battery with an alternator as well in a car. That's all it's pulling. Pretty good on power. I'll give it that. So I'm keeping it constant. Let's see if it had a 154a in it. 80 grams, not much. I wonder what this has got on it. This is a made in China. It's a newer one of these ReGas. It's got about 65 grams. Okay, 65 grams. Put a light on this bloody camera. Yeah, 80 grams, okay. more R152a in this one. Pressures are looking good, not in a vacuum. Oh, look, that's already in at 0 degrees. Nice. I got it set to -20, so -20. So I tap it. It kind of moves a little bit. It might be alright actually. We'll keep an eye on it and I'll let it go for a bit longer. And I'll take the gauges off. That might actually be at the correct charge now. It says it's 240 volt this thing, but it's not. On the front it says 12, 24 and 240 volts. But it's not like these ReGas where it's inbuilt. You've got to use a separate power supply with these cheap ones. We'll take that circuit board off and give it a couple of coats of clear lacquer and sub on an LED light, and that'll protect it, especially with these ReGas too. These parts you can't get anymore. Yeah, since the Medic took over, you can't get parts of these anymore, so I'll probably take the circuit board at the bottom and lacquer that too. Because yeah, parts of these ReGas are unobtainium. Other than a local bloke I know who has parts. If it wasn't for him, we'll be screwed. Yep, we're going good. We're going good. We're going really good. So let that get down to temperature and start freezing things. I think we're fine. Anyway, nice little, that was good fun job. Gotta love refrigeration. This and other sorts of things. As I said, when I started my YouTube channel, my interests are refrigeration, all sorts of things, and with valve radios, everything. So I still do the odd car fridge here and there, but this is the one first one I've had in a while. And this one, but this is pretty much good to go back to the customer. This one will be soon when I'm finished with it. Do some panel beating and some tweaks, make sure it's all 100% again. Yeah, just take an axe to it. It would have come from BCF. They sell this brand. So someone there is obviously doing decommissioning and throwing them out, but let's just say someone knows someone somewhere and we're saving these things and going to landfill, which is a waste anyway. Corporations don't care about the planet. They push the idea on us, but no, they don't practice what they preach, so they can go and get stuffed. All about money worshippers nowadays. But anyway, let's just say we're doing God's work here. What we're doing things like this on YouTube, fixing things, just really doing God's work nowadays. That's the way I said anyway. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Oh, yes. Yes. I think we're fully charged. So I said the guy I know who lives off the grid has plenty of car fridges, heaps of them. But he does actually need them, so. But if I do get more, which I probably will get more, I'll tidy them up and sell some, like I do house fridges. In the summertime, it's going to be a pretty hot summer this year. I reckon I'll go good selling fridges this upcoming summer. Yeah. Oh yeah, I can turn it a little tiny bit more. I won't actually, because when it gets down to -20, I want to monitor the frost line here. That'll start getting frost back, so I reckon they'll stop the charge and I'll put the cap on it. We're good to go. Anyway, thanks for watching.